Hey, Chad Warren here. How you doing? Fishing out here, not getting a bite. It burns part. Why am I talking with you today? I'm talking with you because I don't know about you, but I like to be able to eat. And if you think corporations or the government gives a shit about you and what you eat and if you get to eat, you got another thing coming. So, if you think that those food shortages were rough because of this coronavirus bullshit, then imagine what. I've been hearing about food shortages last year because of increased rain in some areas, not enough rain other places. There's even theories about there being an ice age, a cooling trend. It's certainly a lot cooler than normal right now. The grasses are not looking good here because it's cooler than usual. But I'm going to show you a video here that somebody shared with me from some guy I've never heard of, but I've certainly heard about this topic in general about food shortages. Have you heard about food shortages? I want you to ask yourself this question. Why would you be seeing pictures and video in the mainstream news showing people dumping milk and killing pigs, and the Tyson workers aren't working because of this live coronavirus that's no more deadly than a regular flu? So we have this left versus right crap. But now it's getting serious if you got to worry about not being able to leave the house or if you can eat. So, would trade unions and liberals side with communism, communist China, with the international globalists? Will the Trump worshippers admit that he's not doing enough, that we're not doing enough? I think we all need to learn how local politics works. What's the smallest level of government? The city? Oh, I got a bite. Hold on. Uh, so we need to find these people that we can have influence over, and we can learn from them and get to know them, whether we want to or not, because we want to eat. So why, as Shad will say in this video I'll give you a sample of, would American beef producers be ordered to kill their livestock while we're receiving beef from Namibia, Africa? Now I looked it up, and we've been receiving beef from Namibia for a number of years. They were the first beef exporter to America. Now, do you think that they have the same quality standards that the USDA has? No. So, what's up with that? Why are we getting pushed around like a bunch of pussies? Like, why would you want to accept less than you've had? I mean, that's the whole purpose of America, is that we go for the best so that everybody can have the best. That's what it should be. It's not supposed to be that we feel guilty for whatever it went on in the past and commit suicide as a nation. Who's that going to benefit? So, let's see what we got here. Hey everybody, this is Shad Sullivan coming to you from the headwaters of Bitter Creek, Archer County, North Texas. We have to talk. State officials will be assisting to help identify potential alternative markets if a producer is unable to move animals, and if necessary, advise and assist on depopulation and disposal methods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are plowing under vegetable crops from coast to coast. We are euthanizing millions of chickens. We are aborting sows and burying feeder pigs. We are dumping milk by the hundreds of thousands of gallons, and now they are preparing us to depopulate the fat cattle ready to harvest because of a bottleneck created by the effects of COVID. This thing hasn't been created by COVID, but the effects of COVID and the logistics therein. We are in trouble. Our food supply is in trouble, and I am appealing to producers and consumers across the nation to start calling. Yesterday, the first shipment of imported beef from the country of Namibia hit the shores of the United States of America. And yet this morning they are telling us to prepare to euthanize harvest-ready cattle. Am I the only one that sees a problem in this? It is time we get the American people back to work. It is time we get money flowing. It is time we get food on the shelves. Because if you're not concerned about this food supply problem, you better be. We have a huge supply and demand of food across this nation. We can feed the world ourselves, and yet we're destroying our harvests. At the same time, we are importing beef from other countries, beef that is less regulated than our beef, less safe, not as high quality a product, and yet it's happening. At the same time, they are preparing for us to euthanize our harvests. Does that make sense to America? For the last 10 years, we have been pressed to be sustainable. I've said all along, sustainability is a fraud. And right now, we're being forced to destroy our harvests. So maybe sustainable means...
That doesn't sound like sustainability to me.
Something good for the rich folk.
But it is part of the overall goal to vertically integrate your food system. You see, they cannot have control of the people unless they have control of the food, the water, the land, production. It is time we get back to work. It is time the people force the government to listen to us. We are of, by, and for the people. This is not Nancy Pelosi's country. This is not Donald Trump's country. This is your country, and you're going to go hungry. We must get regional and local packing houses up and going. Do we have to have those big packing plants? You bet we do, and they need to be running right now. We need help. You as a consumer are in trouble. My dad told me years ago the best thing that would happen to America is if everybody had to sit in the dark, cold, and hungry, and that would wake them up. Well, I think it's coming. We're in a dangerous position, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get inspectors into these small plants. We need to get better inspectors. We need to get going on this today, not tomorrow, today. You need to be calling your legislators. We need to be opening up the country. Your food supply is in danger. Ranchers are... Hey, everybody.
So, Shad Sullivan mentions a petition to demand U.S. beef. Okay? So, this is an answer to that petition that occurred on March 26th of this year. Elizabeth Drake, who is counsel, that means a lawyer, I presume, for a petitioner, Chagrin Associates, Washington, D.C. Completed its review of the petition on behalf of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, USCA, from October 23rd of last year, petition number 1905. They request that the Food Safety and Inspection Service, FSIS, change the Standards and Labeling Policy Book, the policy book, so that any beef product that is labeled as made in the USA, product of the USA, USA beef, that suggests its origin is in the U.S., be derived from cattle that have been born, raised, and slaughtered in the U.S. Permitted to bear voluntary statements that indicate that the product is of U.S. origin, such as product of USA or made in the USA. So there's that. I found that from this site, fsis.usda.gov. wps/portal/fsis/topics/regulations/petitions. Today is Tuesday, April the 28th, 5:18 p.m. Central Time, Daylight Time. Bloomberg, article from today by Jennifer Jacobs and Lydia Mulvaney, 11:18 this morning. President will invoke Defense Production Act after closures. At least 6,500 workers sickened or in isolation, U.S. union says. Setting up a showdown between the giant companies that produce America's meat and the unions and activists who want to protect workers in a pandemic. A pandemic where you might get the flu, just like every other day. So it's not really a pandemic, it's an attack on the U.S. economy. What does that say about assumedly liberal activists and union representatives? I would like to hear from those people. Do they want to attack the U.S. economy because they think that's what's best for workers? The government will provide additional protective gear for employees as well as guidance. Tyson Foods, the biggest U.S. meat processor, ran paid ads in national newspapers stating that the food supply chain was broken. pressure from local health officials and unions led to voluntary closure. So they didn't have to close. So that would mean to me that it matters if you contact your representatives. Cargill, ConAgra, JBS, Smithfield Foods, Tyson Foods, and other meat producers here in the Midwest and the East. Environmental working group called the order a potential death sentence. So we'll have to look them up. The United Food and Commercial Workers Union said in a statement that if workers aren't safe, the food supply won't be either. At least 20 workers in meat and food processing. Well, if they cared about the health of people, why would we be getting meat from China, the place where this COVID virus originated, the place where we got tainted dog food? Don't you care about the health of your dogs? China doesn't care anything about the health of their people, so why would these liberals cozy up to communism and socialism? At least 20 workers in meat and food processing have died. Well, if the CDC is telling doctors to list all deaths as COVID deaths, and testing is likely to provide a false positive, then does that really mean anything? So Trump signaled an executive action Tuesday saying he planned to sign an order aimed at Tyson's liability. If people get COVID, is that because of the company or because of nature? It will affect many processing plants supplying beef, chicken, eggs, and pork. Shares in Tyson and Sanderson Farms extended gains after that announcement. That move was made amid estimates that as much as 80% of U.S. meat production capacity could shut down. You think that could affect your chance of getting food at the supermarket? Okay, so there's that article you can look up. So I would like you to contact me through the Telegram app. At Vector Victor is my call sign there, and I have a group for people to share the best of the best information that leads towards action locally and worldwide. And my website, which I haven't updated in a while, is chadwarren.me. What I think that, we're all tired of the COVID talk. food scarcity seems to be the next issue that has come out of that. What do you think the priorities are? What's going on, especially stuff that we don't already know about? Do you have any personal examples of working with political groups like trade unions or environmental activists or local politics, city halls? Anything you'd like to share? Be much appreciated. Thank you.